All right, welcome back. Boy Yadi, back again. All right, doing another update video, running through the trading process, see what refinements can be made, see what we can do, see what we can do differently, what we can add, what we can take away, what we can improve on. Right, part of the journey here. So I'm always kicking off. We're going over the process, the plan itself, right? The risk management, the trade plan. No changes made to the trade plan itself in terms of what I'm looking for to find an entry. Right, the thing I'm trying to work the most on right now, as this provides an entry, as one I can trust. It's to go over the risk management side, which is to try keeping the play safe and to set in, the proper risk parameters so that, protects us. So simplified it down a bit. I mean, kept most of the elements the same, risking 1% per trade, right? Stop loss, move to break even after 1 to 1. Well, trail stops after 1 to 2, and take partials off at 1 to 3, right? 90%. And this right here is probably the most important part. I'm not gonna lie, besides the break even aspect. But having having a 1 to 3 risk to reward, you would need to be right 30% of the time. So 3 out of 10 trades would need to win for you to be a profitable trader. Math, numbers, right? That being said, at the 1 to 3, it would make sense if I take most of the position off the table and allow the rest to run if it would like to, while also trailing the stop. But again, at a 1 to 3, you would need 30% win rate. I think at a 1 to 2, you would need a 50% win rate. Make sure to pull that up real quick. There's some interesting numbers. I will just be going over it just because. But yeah, exactly. So 1 to 1, you need a 60% win rate to be profitable. 1 to 2, you need a 40% win rate to be profitable. That's what it is. Then 1 to 3, you would need to be 30% win rate to be profitable. So I'm all the system I have works with a 1 to 3 RR anyways, so it makes sense for me to adjust what it is I'm doing around being profitable using that number. So at 1 to 3, I'm gonna make the decision to take 90% off the table and allow whatever else is on the table to run. Right. So that's about it for just going over the process. First off, now I'm gonna get back to the charts. And for this video, I created a couple of videos before going over these 3 charts. I'm gonna put all of that analysis onto this one video kind of moving forward with EUR USD, your USD being the main pair I'm watching and the one I actually want to be taking the trades from. So this being the chart I'm actually trading, and the rest being opportunities. I'm just using charts I'm using as an opportunity to practice everything else that I'm doing on. Right. So kind of just to see how the monthly, weekly, daily, and the hourly correlate in terms of how I can get it to work using the process. Right. So I'll go over the AUD USD opportunity first, as this one does provide some insight, some valuable insight, right? So before I was watching, I'll go over it. I was watching this wick right here, and watching this wick, I believe this entry here is what I was trying to maximize on. Right, this one stops above the high. Right, target all these levels. This being the 1 to 1 exactly, 1 to 2, and the 1 to 3. Right, so clearly price did not run in that direction, which is fine. I did go over the fact that this right here was missing price, buying to sell, that actually broke structure. But there was this missing, well, this order block up here, which on the hourly, that's what it looks like on the 30-minute exactly. So I'll use the hourly is fine. But this block up here, highlighted, did still exist. We did make a move all the way up to the highs. It did liquidate the highs, grabbing what liquidity was there, just by like a wick, which is fine. So I'll delete this. So all this would be is a -1 in regards to where the stop loss was placed, which that's why risk management is important. All right, so I'll just put a -1 right here and try seeing what could have been done better immediately. So a couple of things. A is the fact that the missing price existed within the range. high to low, right, with the break right here. This block should be the one I should be targeting. This one is missing price as well. You just see it react to it. But the missing price up here did get filled as well. We traded into it, broke, come back up and broke down. So currently I'm trying to see if, again, I'm not going to be taking part in the opportunity. I'm just tracking it. But having taken the liquidity here, if even just by a wick, right, it broke down once here. And then this specific candle I'm highlighting broke down again, right? So do something real quick. So equal high swept is okay. So this wick right here, I would like to see if price respects it and actually delivers into the low, leaving, let me see exactly. This would be the LPSY. I'll leave this here. Just for the video's sake, I'll put an entry here. I'm not actually taking this entry. Stops above the high set right here. And I'll target a low just to see how it plays out. And I'll try establishing the management rules as well with it, just with this chart. So let's see. That's fine. I'll leave 1 to 1 right here. 1 to 2. Yep. 1 to 2 right here, and 1 to 3, which is the 90% partial right here. So we'll see how this plays out. I'll just track this opportunity, right? Not much to it. Not trying to stress it too much. Again, just using this as an opportunity to improve what it is I'm doing. Over here now, EU. Actually, let me touch the GU first. So let's see how do I do this one now. Daily, because the top-down process. On this video, I stated that everything was filled in except for this specific wick right here, right? Which within this wick, we have set equal highs. This schematic is it's a bit harder to track, but equal highs are here, swept. Okay, here we go. This is how we can do it. Try doing it from a schematic standpoint too. So I'll treat this as the BC. So buying climax, automatic rally, secondary test, right? Just internal liquidity being set in the market. So BC, AR, oh, don't do that. BC, AR, ST, right? There's the parts to the schematic. ST. I want to consider this a sign of weakness. It's okay. There really is no displacement to the lows, which again can be an indication of something else, but I'm not trying to stress that right now. Working with what we have, right? And then you have the UT, the move up through all of this, coming back down, but it has not taken out the low right here. Granted, we're within low to high. So I wouldn't take a trade off this. I wouldn't be willing to risk anything on this specific chart, as I'm not seeing as clear a schematic as I would like. And that's about it. Yeah, no, that's about it for this chart. I'm not going to stress this chart. It's not delivering as I would like it to, so there really isn't nothing to do on it. There's the EUR USD trade now, though, that this one is delivering. I'll not delete it. I'll take these on the screen. This one's delivering. This one's delivering pretty nicely. I'm not going to lie. We are, let's see. So the weekly broke, right? The weekly broke. We're here. The daily inefficient candle being this one. We have tapped into it. That's the one I have highlighted right there on screen, right? And having tapped into that inefficient candle on the hourly, what I'm seeing is the setup itself. Buying climax, automatic value, secondary test. Again, all these are just fancy words for internal liquidity being set in the market. And then there's move up through that liquidity, low to high, versus the upthrust. Okay. First is the upthrust, right? And then another move through that high, considered a UTAD. And this is the move that brought us up into the actual block itself. So again, on a prior video, I was stating that the daily block here, which was sitting, I think, right here exactly, the same schematic was playing out. I'll drag them over. BC, ARST, right? Equal highs. The UT, the move up through those, and then finally the UTAD, which in this case, it never brought it into the actual block right here, right? So if I go into daily, right, this, I'll just highlight it just because. Go back to the hourly, right? We never quite tapped into that. Instead, we turned around right before it. But with this specific setup, this being the daily block we're in, we actually did tap into it. And I just want to point something out real quick. So having tapped, I'll delete this. Actually, I'll bring it over. I'll delete it. So the move into this daily block right here, right? I'm just going to make this clear. The move into the block right there came from low to high. And something that's a bit off putting right now is that really you could say the move came from this low all the way to the high. But when it comes to structure, it did do this. It did really come from this specific low right here, low to high, and the move back down through this low is a shift, kind of indicating that they're willing to bring price to the bottom side, which is everything we look for right here. So it will be similar to like this low breaking right here. But where this low broke, and it broke with volume, you can see it. This one hasn't really broken with volume. So I'm a bit curious as to how they plan on delivering price. And there are certain things like this, missing price right here that can still be tapped into. So I'm a bit skeptical on how price is delivering in general. However, all the parts to the schematic I'm looking for an entry, all pieces to it have been met. And as such, I'm willing to take on certain risk on this specific setup. The question is where and how, right? So this being my main chart, I'll see what I can do with it. Again, if it's possibly going to fail, it's not that it doesn't matter, but that's where risk management comes in. Probably the most important aspect of trading. So I'm gonna just proceed as normal, right? Daily or monthly, weekly, daily have lined up, right? That's the opportunity we're tracking. All these line up on the hourly. I'm seeing the setup. And I find that seeing the setup and feeling like it won't play out has been my biggest issue versus seeing the setup and taking the setup, just incorporating proper risk management, which should be the proper move. That being said, we're within the daily block. After the daily block, the specific low that brought us into the high was taken. As such, I'm gonna be trying to find somewhere to take the play from. Now I have these levels set up here. And that's because I'll get right to it right here. I use a line. This hourly candle has missing price underneath it. Expand on that, right? So this right here for me is a solid order block to use. However, where I would be here using the full candle to sell from, I'll make this a different color, right? So where I'll be using the full candle sell from, I am trying to find ways to refine that entry into a more precise one and lessen the risk on the play, as I don't like how shaky it's moving. I'm saying like that, quite simply. So I'm gonna try to find a way to refine this. We'll see if it's something that I can incorporate in the plan itself. For this specific candle, being as big it is, I just want to find ways to refine it. One of the refinements that could be made is that this buy candle right here really is the last buying to sell. This is where time frames come in, like the use of time frame and how to actually properly navigate them. So on the hourly, we can see that from low to high, right here, low to high, is the full candle, the last up candle, right? Technically, this right here is the last unmitigated portion of it. So what I mean by that is that there were orders up here that were used to sweep highs and sell through low, right, as a supply candle. And the time frames are just a way to view the orders in the market. So on the hourly, it's a wick right here. If I go to the 30-minute, what you'll see is that it's an actual order block, right? So this being an actual order block, I'm willing to use this 30-minute order block in this video specifically for the reasoning of having all the criteria is being met. High to low. This is an impulse, and that impulse did begin from up here with a clean order block. So in a way, not in a way, but in an attempt to refine this hourly zone, right? I could use the wick itself, or I can come to a 30 minute and kind of take entry off the fact that price normally fills in the missing prices it leaves behind. So a move back up here would be beautiful to bring us down. And as such, the entry I'll be working with on this specific play. So again, I'll use the 30 minute. I'll see if this actually helps the trade plan or not. Again, if it wasn't the 30 minute, it would be the hourly. So entry will be taken off here. For this video, I'm actually willing to miss this entry. Let me think about that statement real quick. Yeah, what is it, 7 o'clock? I feel like this is gonna pull back up in there by London. Yeah, I'm gonna be willing to miss this entry. I could split risk on it too, but I am a bit not a bit. I'm confident in this specific one. This definitely needs to be filled. I can see price sweeping all of these highs right here, treating as liquidity to then bring price down. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll use this entry, and where I'll be using this entry, I'll set up boom stop loss above the high. Give it a few pips to count for possibility of it going up. Risking 1% on this specific play and targeting the low right here. So this refined entry does give a 1 to 6. Risking 1% should give us 6% back, right? I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, to be honest. So this is the entry I'm working with, kind of going off the schematic I have. A couple of things I would love to have seen a kind of a bigger move down through the lows, telling us that we definitely want to head lower. But for the shift here, for me, that's enough. Granted, we went from low to high, and then we broke past that. So move back up here really should be bringing us, continually down. So I'll stick with this entry. That's the update on all the video, well, all the charts. So AUD, again, this one, let's see. Yeah, exactly. So I'll work with that. So for right now, I will go back to the trade plan and hourly, let's see, hourly or 30 minute time frame. That's candle for Wyckoff confirmation and entry, right? So I'll add that to the plan just as we've been making some adjustments and see how it actually plays out. But for now, there really isn't anything else to do. Everything else here, equal highs, equal highs, equal highs, swept, kind of brought lower, does indicate that this block should be useful. And this block does fall in line with the daily block itself, which could bring us into the low. So I'll leave it at that. That's about it for this video. I appreciate y'all stopping by, allowing me to share information, sharing your time with me. Really appreciate you and hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, boy, checking out.